down the hammer and pick up the pencil. You're about to listen to the Savvy Radio Show. Learn from real-life real estate investors, experience revealed with the Savvy Landlord as your host.
All right, savvy investors out there, my name is Steve Van Kallenberg. I am the Savvy Landlord. I'm juicy woosy because we just did Investor Weekend. I have a guest on the radio show, man. I've been kicking with this guy for almost a full week. His name is Roc Pilon. Pilon, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. From Boise, Idaho. I met Roc at the Millionaire Fastlane Summit, and he spoke there about house hacking, about living for free and buying a duplex at 20 years old. That strikes a chord in my heart because how I got in the game was an 18-year-old kid owned a duplex, handed me Rich Dad Poor Dad, and he never worried about money. So when I saw you speak in Phoenix, I was like just floored. And then I got even more juicy when everybody was drilling you with questions, how you did it, how hard it was, and your presentation was awesome. And I think it really resonated with people that you can leverage real estate and live for free. So,
Definitely.
So I'm excited for you to be on the show.
Awesome, man. Thanks for having me.
And I'm excited to be your friend.
For sure.
And he's also an entrepreneur. If you don't know what that means he's trying to make money on a hustle on the side. He has a clothing line. I wouldn't say t-shirt company. I would say clothing line. It's Gym Reapers, GYMREAPERS.com. If you want to feel like you bowed up like this guy is in front of me, he's all muscled out. He's healthy. And he eats well, and I don't. So anyway, so first of all, how did you get introduced to real estate in the first place? Because 20-year-olds in my world, are cheeseburgers and video games. They don't read. Mm-hmm. They for sure are not entrepreneurial. And they're living on daddy and mommy in college usually, or faking it through college.
For sure.
Have you ever had a desire to go to college? Let's start there.
Yeah. So my interest in real estate picked up with Rich Dad Poor Dad as well.
Okay, right.
My dad gave me that book probably when I was like 16 or 17.
Right on. Wait. So your dad read it?
Yeah. He was all about it. Okay. He understood it, and he actually owned a duplex as his first house, but he never he just sold it as we moved up in homes. Okay. So my interest was peaked there, and then as the opportunities came up over 3 years, I ended up having the opportunity to buy one.
So was your dad in real estate before? Did he read Rich Dad Poor Dad and bought a duplex himself?
Yeah, this was 30 years ago before he had me. So he got married, and they ended up going single family house just for the family. So it was never an actual investment kind of deal. All
right, let's talk about you actually were born in Canada. Mm-hmm. And then how did you get from Canada to Boise, Idaho? Is that what was your next spot after?
Yeah, Atlanta, Georgia. So
okay. Tell us about your life there.
Yeah, that's crazy. So my dad, corporate job, so we moved from Manitoba, Winnipeg, which is in Canada, to Atlanta, Georgia. And then probably when I was like 12 or 13, we moved to Boise, Idaho. And that's where my duplex is. That's where I live right now. And I'm working right there. Yeah.
Okay. It's such a hot Atlanta to cold. Well, you're used to the weather.
Yeah. It's
what's your job? What did your dad do before?
So he was in wood manufacturing products, working for a company called Weyerhaeuser.
Yeah, they make boxes too, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Weyerhaeuser. Okay.
I'm not product management. I don't know. But what ended up happening was he lost his job in the 2008 crash.
Okay.
And so I got to kind of see what happens when you rely on one income stream. So I was like, oh man, I got to focus on real estate and building income streams because I had read Rich Dad Poor Dad by that point. So buying that duplex allowed me to live for free and created that opportunity so that I'm not totally reliant on one income stream.
So like what drives you? I don't know any other 20-year-olds besides like Sean McVicker that reads and applies what they read, but what motivates you? I mean, like you're also fit and healthy, and I mean, how long do you spend in the gym? Like, walk me through a typical day before we met, because I know your whole life is about to change.
Yeah. Man, what drives me? I think I always want to improve. I don't know what it is, but
like me, I didn't want to be poor. Like my like I didn't want to be my mom. I didn't want to, and not to put my mom down, because my mom is an incredible woman who sacrificed for me 3 years. I mean, 3 jobs. But I just didn't want to struggle, and I didn't want to be poor, I guess. So that was and I'm an inner driven.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a big part. After my dad lost his job, it was like we had to move out of the house, living in a mobile home.
Dang.
And I had built the work ethic through football and sports and gotten to working out there. But I realized I could do this with money.
So you were disciplined.
Yeah, for sure.
So now we're in high school. So your dad gave you the book at 16. And then, I mean, you're only 21. So you've only been out of school for about 3 years.
Yeah.
So what was going through your mind, like your senior year, you're graduating? Was college on your mind? You didn't have the duplex yet? Were you looking for houses?
No, so I actually didn't even get into real estate till about 12 months ago.
Wow.
I was going to Boise State. I went to Boise State my freshman year, and I dropped out after mid sophomore year, and I didn't see the
benefit.
The benefit, yeah. I didn't see what's my outcome after 4 years. I didn't see I could do more through real estate. I dropped out after my sophomore year or mid sophomore year because I realized, oh, there's more than one way to make money without a job.
Okay. Did you have an idea what you wanted to study? Did you declare a major?
I was studying business and I wanted to get into entrepreneurship, but I thought, why would I study entrepreneurship when it's free to go be an entrepreneur? And that's kind of what Gym Reapers was started on too. I realized I can make money right now. Start an Instagram, get up a Shopify store, and let's go. Man,
I wish I need to do an episode on entrepreneurism. But so you went to Boise. So I changed majors a lot in college because I really didn't know. I didn't really wake up until I was about 27. I really was just kind of fumbling through life. Everyone says go to college. Okay, you're never going to make money if you don't go to college. I was just following like a robot, like everybody else.
Yeah.
But that was at 27 for me. In your case, you reconnected the book? I mean, you got the book at 16, so you're, 3 years later, that whole 3 years that you were thinking about being in real estate, you were just waiting for the opportunity?
No, so I read the book at 16, and because I told my dad I want to be rich. I just wanted that opportunity. And he's like,
was he down?
Oh, no, he was like, yeah, read Rich Dad Poor Dad, Think and Grow Rich, and How to Win Friends and Influence People.
Dude, your dad is, I want my son to be you.
Yeah, thanks, man.
I mean, I'm serious.
But, it wasn't at 16. I was like, okay, you read Rich Dad Poor Dad, and it's an overview concept. It plants the seed, and so I didn't know what to do next. So I followed the system that's set up. And after my sophomore year of college, midway through, I was like, this is not. I'm getting student loan debt that you can't forgive. I'm digging myself a hole, and there's no outcome after 4. There's no guaranteed outcome.
Sure.
And the majority of people I'm seeing, they're not making those dream jobs.
So what was it like when you bailed out? Like, I mean, obviously you were in college, you were young, probably had some parties or whatever, hanging out, meeting people, building relationships, and all of a sudden, all right, peace out.
Yeah.
What was that like? Were they blasting you? They were like, dude, you're a joker? Or like, what was that like?
I think a lot of kids and a lot of my friends still, a lot of people don't really know what they're doing. They don't know what the end goal is or what the end of the path is. And no, I didn't get blasted or anything. We're still friends. I just wouldn't see them as much. And I think this is where the difference is. They're working on their college education and whatever career path they're going on, and they're spending that 8 hours. I'm spending my 24 hours focusing on building my future.
Empire.
Yeah, totally. And so it's not a part-time or a full-time student kind of deal. It's like 24/7 hustle.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
I'm super stoked about that. So let's talk about this real estate thing. How'd you find this deal? Like, what were you doing? Like, what was the defining moment you were like, okay, I'm all in? I mean, did you have a job at the time?
Yeah, so I was working at bodybuilding.com. And So I had a W-2. And I realized I need to get out of this mobile home and start living on my own, creating that income stream. And I didn't know anything about real estate as far as like the meat and the substance of it goes. So I started going to these RIAs, and my dad recommended those as well. And the RIA is where I built that network, and the network of my agent Cameron Williams, awesome
agent,
dude.
like real estate agent,
but he's a investor and an entrepreneur.
Cool.
He just gets it.
Nice.
So I got to connect.
That's super rare.
Oh yeah, and awesome dude, and connecting with all those people in that group,
like a support group, like they helped you.
Oh yeah,
and you had tons of questions.
Yeah, and they were there to answer them. Like anything when it came up, we meet every Tuesday morning. So I got to connect with all these guys.
Now, school was in your way. If you were at school, you wouldn't have connected with these guys.
Yeah, and I had set up my schedule so that I could meet up with them every Tuesday. And then after that mid-semester, I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. There's no point in school.
Cool.
And I don't know what my cap out will be if I don't have a college education. And
I don't have one, homie.
Yeah, there you go. There is no cap out.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, so that real estate investors meetup, best thing that ever happened.
So that was the defining moment.
Oh yeah.
So then you met Cameron. He's kind of this hustler, real estate agent / entrepreneur. So you said, hey, I'm ready to buy a house?
Yeah. So I had been going for 5 or 6 months, and by then everyone that's consistent in the group is all friends, and we were talking about getting me a property at 20. And
you were 19 at the time?
I think I started going, I was like 19 going into 20.
Okay.
So,
God, this is such a short time. Your life has changed dramatically.
Yeah. Oh, it's insane. Yeah.
This is pretty crazy.
Yeah. And we started talking about it, check in to see if my income and my credit was right.
So you had to get pre-qualified?
Yeah. And because I tried to do it at 19, but my credit, I didn't even have credit. So I had to start building my credit by just using it for gas and stuff, like a credit card for gas. So
that's so crazy. All right,
yeah.
So you get pre-approved. Cameron kind of holds your hand through this process.
Yeah, he's really helping me out, and he was the one because he has property, he gets it, he runs the RIA.
Okay. What a great guy.
Yeah, and he, I kind of explain my what do you call them? Not a genre, like my criteria. So I explained
what you're looking for to buy.
Yeah, exactly. And I want a duplex in this price range. So we started looking at properties. We probably looked at, I want to say 3 to 5 properties. And the 5th property was the one that I ended up buying. And this was 0 days on market. He had us in the door at 8 a.m., checking it out. Awesome property. All the numbers worked. And we closed that day. Or we put an offer in on that day. Yeah.
And they accepted it? Mm-hmm. What was the number?
So they were asking 155.9, and we ended up offering 157 because the market is so crazy in Boise right now.
Yeah, I mean, 150,000 in Boise, Idaho. It just sounds like a small town.
Yeah, it's exploding right now. The construction, the growth that's going on, the housing values are super high.
So this duplex, was there someone on both sides of the duplex when you looked at it, or was one of it vacant, or how was that?
Yeah, so the lady was sick, and she
owned it.
Yeah, the lady that owned it. She hadn't been taking care of it, and on one side there was this awesome family, awesome couple, older couple,
and they're still there now.
Yep, and they've been there for 8 years. And then on the other side was the polar opposite. They were, I'm not going to say they're addicts, but they lived that lifestyle, you know.
Okay.
And
were they younger?
Yeah.
So there's an older couple to the left or whatever.
Yeah, older couple on the left, and then in the units that I would be living in as an owner occupant, there were this couple with tons of kids leaving their stuff everywhere, super dirty, and
so this
just
is
deferred.
Tell me the size of this duplex.
Yeah, it's 950 square feet on each side.
So it's 1,800 square foot. Mm-hmm. Is it 3-bedroom, 2-bedroom?
2 bed, 1 bath.
Both sides.
Yeah, with like garage built in there.
2-car garage?
1 car.
For each side, or?
Yeah, 1 on each side.
And are these on a single level, or is this like a duplex, like above and under?
Side by side.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So you find this property.
Mm-hmm.
You've never, you're got a pot to piss in, kind of.
Yeah.
Like you're 20 years old, getting led by some guy you met out of 4 or 5 months ago. Mm-hmm. You put an offer in, they get it. Did you have a little heart attack there for a minute? I mean, did you think this was going to be happening, like reality?
I was just stoked that I got it because I heard they had a cash offer in, and there was 3 people behind me trying to check out the property.
Dang, is this like some hot area?
It's pretty. Yeah, I mean, we're the growth, and like they put in this huge shopping center called the Village, and it's just down the street from there. So it was lucky, and it's in a cul-de-sac of 3 other duplexes that are would be an awesome deal to own the cul-de-sac.
Interesting.
So it was a sweet area, and it's growing, and yeah, I was just stoked to get it. I didn't even I didn't really have any fear behind it. I was just because I kind of trusted I had my dad had my back, Cameron had my back, and I had built the network in the RIA, and my lender Gary Whitson. He's an awesome dude, and he went above and beyond to help me get that loan at my age with what I was working with,
and all the knowledge and the books that you read.
Oh yeah. And I had a pretty solid understanding of the numbers and the knowledge of how real estate works, but I really didn't know I didn't know everything.
Sure.
And so when
20 years old, I don't expect it.
Yeah, but when I needed that that advice or that piece of like understanding, they were there. So I had a good support system for sure.
All right, so tell me about this house hacking, and you got involved with the Millionaire Fast Lane, entrepreneurs. You're on the blog and the forum.
Yeah,
and then like this hacking thing is kind of a big deal. Living for free. I mean, that's just the young generation. Like their businesses around their lifestyle. Is did that inspire you from the Millionaire forum to think like that, or did you want to just live for free like me? I just was lazy and wanted to live for free. So like, is this your lifestyle? Is this something like, how did that whole house hacking thing come about?
Yeah, I think the house hacking thing came about because I was looking for not my easiest way, but the best way to get my foot in the door with real estate investing, because it's something I do want to do long term. With house hacking, you can put 3.5% down, which with a traditional loan you can't. So it was with my financial situation, it was like, oh, I can get in this way, and even better, I can live for free by having my tenants and a roommate pay my mortgage.
So your tenants pay $800. $750, and then your roommate pays it, which is now you're able to live for free. Yeah,
it covers my mortgage, so I might cover my utilities and I pay utilities, which is around $200, but I'm also paying to a bank account as like a reserve fund in case something goes wrong. But
so the word house hacking is living for free.
Yep.
Okay,
can be done with a single family or small multifamily. It's awesome.
So what did it feel like when you closed? 20 years old. And then now you're a landlord.
Yeah, I was.
And you have someone that needs to pay you.
Yeah, I was
instead of you paying someone else.
I was thinking about the next thing, like what's the next deal I'm going to do. I wasn't
cool.
Like I was telling my dad, I was like, all right, let's do the next one, and I hadn't even repaired the other side or done anything. He's like, well, why don't you just go ahead and fix that side up?
Yeah, so, I saw the pictures. I saw that you had a kind of extensive remodel because they were kind of dirty.
It was a dump, yeah. So we had to. I mean,
it looked brand new. The fireplace looked immaculate.
Yeah. We fixed all that thing up. Cool. But as far as my thought process goes, I wasn't too scared. I think I was naive as a new investor, thinking I didn't know the full circumstances of what could go wrong. I was always looking on the positive side. I was like, oh, this is cool.
That's how
Cash
I got in it.
Yeah.
I'm making money.
But I mean, if those people had moved out, I had vacancies and they destroyed that side, I probably wouldn't have been as stoked as I was.
Or you had the money. So how'd you get the down? That was another unique thing, because you had no money of an essence, right? You had no savings. You had to raise. How much did you have to put down? 3% of 150 was.
It was about $7,200.
So $7,000, $200.
Yeah.
Now, a guy that's dropped out of college doesn't have $7,200 just ready reserve.
Right. Well, I had been living, or I'd been working at bodybuilding.com at this time too, and I've been super frugal living in that mobile home. I really wasn't spending money. I wasn't going out, and I'd been able to stash most of my money. So I did have a fair amount.
Sure.
But at the time, my grandfather was sick as well, and I wasn't expecting anything from him, and it's totally fine. And he ended up passing away. And he left his 7 grandkids an insurance policy. And in that insurance policy, it actually covered the exact amount for that down payment.
What a great man.
Yeah. And I did have I wouldn't have gone through with it, and my lender wouldn't have let me go through with it without having enough money in my bank.
Sure.
And
they're real stringent on it, and they make sure you verify it.
Oh, yeah. Especially because it's a government-insured loan. But that money definitely, from my grandfather, definitely allowed me to do the repairs I wanted and do the extra remodel. Yeah.
What a great legacy. You're going to be a multimillionaire. You don't even know it, but I know you're going to do it, because only people that read are multimillionaires. But
right.
Anyway, you read. I've been seeing you reading since I've been hanging out with you, so I'm excited for you. Where is this going to go? What's your goals that you have now? I mean, you got Jim Reaper. Again, that's GYMREAPERS.com. Clothing line. Got a cool hat that I got to buy.
Yeah.
But you're entrepreneurial. What immediate goals do you have right now?
I want to expand my real estate portfolio, which was awesome. The Investor Weekend was a great event. You put it on.
Thanks.
And I learned a lot. The creative side of investing is something I want to get into. Expanding my portfolio through that. As far as going multifamily route, I want to go into apartment complexes and small residential multifamilies for sure.
Go big or go home.
Yeah. And who knows? I mean, with Gym Reapers, I would love to grow it into a multi-million-dollar brand and look back on this podcast and be like, wow.
Yeah.
Called it.
I mean, you got like 6 shirts out there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, Hey, it works.
Yeah.
I mean, you're very savvy, man, at a young age. Is anyone else in your market and where you live that you can have accountability? Someone else that's young and up and coming, or an entrepreneur group? Yeah,
I actually try and do my best to hang around people with like-minded people. I think that's the biggest thing. It's like that Jim Rohn quote I threw up there at the summit. It was you are the average of the 5 people you hang around with most. And I realized that, and my roommate Tanner Kaufman, I gotta give him a shout out. He's
right on.
Yeah, he's super like-minded. I have a whole peer group of just people I hang out with in particular. Probably, 6 people, and those guys keep me accountable, and I keep them accountable. They're not all real estate entrepreneur like specific, but they all have their thing that they're trying to accomplish. And that's
cool. Are they your age as well?
Yeah. Probably.
That's so rare.
What's
in the water? Are they Canadians as well?
No.
Hey?
Yeah, no, we all went to school together or met in some form of fashion.
Okay, right on.
And, it's weird. It's a like-minded kind of weirdness.
All right. So there's someone else that's listening to this right now. They're 20 years old, 21. They got funky parents, they're kind of bummed out. What would you say to him or her?
I think you need to educate yourself. I don't think you should rely on school to educate you. And I don't think school does educate you to the extent that you need to be educated. I think taking the initiative to get a financial education, which is something that's not taught in any school that I know of, financially educate yourself so that you can set yourself up to live the future you want to live. I don't think everybody wants to be millionaire or billionaire, real estate investor,
tycoon. But
whatever they want to do, I think you need to take the step and spend that time personally developing yourself, learning and taking, learning from like mentors as well. So
your dad told you about those 3 books.
Yeah.
And that's what just started you. And you read Rich Dad Poor Dad first?
Yeah, I think I read, Rich Dad Poor Dad or Think and Grow Rich. I love that. Those 2 books, yeah.
And they kind of just set you off and you just started thinking about it.
Oh, I was obsessed. Yeah. After that, Think and Grow Rich was the one where it's like, lays out the secret, which is, it's not the law of attraction, but it's whatever you set your mind to, you can accomplish.
Whatever you can conceive, you can achieve.
Yes. That struck a chord, and I was like, I got obsessed with the fact that, the more I think about things and the more I act on them, the more they tend to happen.
All right. Since we got a couple more minutes, we got about 3 more minutes. I'm just fascinated. So you got this attractive young guy. How are women handling you?
Yeah.
So because most women that at your age, they're assuming that you only want to do certain things with them.
Right.
What are they like when you're ambitious? Do some of the girls that you've dated in the past, or I know you're not dating anybody right now, but are they ambitious too, or? How do you find, and how do you date nowadays? That's another question. Because how do you find other like-minded women?
Dude, I need to ask you that question.
I know. I'm unfortunate. I remember I met my wife at the club.
Yeah.
I was like, what's your goals, girl?
Yeah. See, I don't, I don't date. I'm just
focused.
Yeah. I don't have time. And I realize everyone's texting back and forth. I'll be texting and then I won't text somebody back for 3 days. I'm like, oh yeah, you can't do that. And so I just kind of don't. I just focus on what I'm doing. Right.
That's cool. And you might meet her at an Anthony Robbins conference.
Yeah, right. It's super hard to meet like-minded people. The 5 or 6 friends that I have, they're not common.
Okay, I got a money-making idea.
Yeah.
How about speed dating for entrepreneurs?
You'd have to find them all and get them in a room. But
no,
it's a good idea.
Like-minded people.
Yeah.
That are younger, that are ambitious, and it's not about the physicality of it. It's about just growing together, man and woman. So I bet you there's some website out there.
There it is.
Anyway, man, it's been a pleasure to get to know you these last couple of days. I'm just honored for you to fly down here to Oklahoma City, help out with Investor Weekend, and just seeing you grow within 4 days. I can't imagine what you're going to be in 6 months. You've done this only within under a year.
Yeah.
Man, I think you're an inspiration to me. I'm twice your age, and that was one of my biggest things I was always bummed about. I wish I would have started earlier, and I started getting smart at 27.
Yeah.
I started realizing, hey, this lifestyle is not gonna get me where I need to go.
Right.
I'm relying on the government, or I'll have to rely on the government if I don't figure out a plan.
Right.
And that's and then I just fell into it, but. Man, you truly are an inspiration. I cannot wait for you to come back to Oklahoma City and just man, hopefully you have a great following. I know that you're going to have a website coming up. What is that website that you got coming up?
Yeah, I'm going to throw up househacking.rent. It's going to be all the information on how to actually house hack and learn more about how to live for free.
Yeah, right on. Yeah. Well, it's not like you're living for free. It's like you're taking responsibility for yourself. And I think we would cut out a lot of social programs that, people, taking advantage of if they would just learn to be self-sufficient. And that's what you're doing. You're being, how hard is it to buy a duplex? Yeah, it's not easy. You got to deal with a couple next to you, which they're pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, but then reality is, why can't we all do that? Why can't we all, recycle? I mean, it just fascinates me where it's just so simple to me, but people continue to roll down their window and throw out trash. Right. Yeah. So anyway, is there an email that people can get a hold of you or encouragement? Because there's got to be, listen, folks, this podcast is to grow you, to encourage you. And if you just contact Roc, I mean, he is so genuine. I think he'd respond back. It might take him 3 days. Yeah.
Just don't text me.
Don't text. We won't throw out your phone number. You got an email they can get a hold of you?
For sure. RocPilon@gmail.com. And yeah, I'm open to asking or answering any questions. And thank you for having me.
Yeah, you're going to speak next year. A year from now, we're going to have the Investor Weekend, April 7th and 8th. You're going to speak at it. It's going to be mega, just ginormous, as my son would say. Awesome. All right, man. Well, Roc, has been a pleasure. You have a great day, and can't wait to interview you again.
Thanks, man.
Investor Weekend is not far off, with over 10 information sessions to increase your portfolio. Log on to www.investorweekend.com. Whether you are a seasoned investor or never purchased a property before, you don't want to miss the Investor Weekend. Join us for a powerful, knowledge-packed weekend with over 10 informational sessions that are bound to enlarge your real estate investments. You will hear from the best national and local real estate investors that will share practical and relevant experiences with you, the investor. There will be several networking sessions to connect with other like-minded people for potential funding, partnerships, and yes, hot deals. Go to www.investorweekend.com. Did you know we meet once a month for the Landlord Lunch meeting? The third Wednesday of every month. Go to landlordlunch.com.
Thanks for listening to the Savvy Radio Show. Glide online and listen to our other motivating episodes at SavvyRadioShow.com. Connect on Twitter @LandlordBook and always be buying assets.